So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the uh, philosophy and social policy program. I'm staying in this slide for a minute because some of the things that Kate was just telling you about are sort of really relevant for our students. Namely, we're close to the top government, nonprofit, and private sector organizations. That, as Kate said, the White House is down the street. K Street, where a lot of lobbying companies are headquartered, is also right down the street. Capitol Hill is not right down the street. It's whatever, a mile and a half away. So there's a lot of access to the government and organizations that sort of circle the government. Okay, so let me tell you about the MA in Philosophy and Social Policy. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to spend some time sort of talking about the program and about how we're situated and sort of what we do for you. I'll spend some time talking about the sort of the people who are here, and I'll spend some time talking about what we're looking for in applications and how to apply to the program. So we have, it's an MA, it's a Master's of Arts or an MA in public policy with a focus in philosophy and social policy. So the program is made up of several different segments. It includes specially focused coursework in philosophy. Not all the program is in philosophy, where you will take graduate courses in philosophy that are related to policy and specifically to your interests in policy. And then we're going to help you apply the insights from philosophy to problems of public policy. And that's sort of the goal of the program. And we're unique among policy programs in that most policy programs focus on quantitative analysis, and we focus on, I wouldn't say qualitative analysis, but we focus on a philosophical approach to the questions of public policy. So if you're somebody who is interested in public policy, but wants to sort of look behind the curtain and understand a little bit more about how it works and about what's the philosophical grounding for policy, we're a good program for you. GW has, and in the Columbian College, there is the Trachtenberg School of Public Policy and Public Administration. And we will cooperate with them. A lot of the courses that our students take, are in the Trachtenberg School, but we have complete autonomy with curricular and admission decisions. The students who come to our program are part of our program. I'll tell you, I honestly don't even know how large their program is. We've got a nice small cohort where you will form bonds with your fellow grad students and with the faculty, because you're going to get to know everybody. Okay, so I said that there are some philosophy courses, but that's only one part of the program. So the program consists of 12 courses, and 4 of those courses will be philosophy graduate level courses. Another 4 will be courses that come from a core of policy analytic courses. And these are, I think of these as breadth requirements. So you'll take a course in policy analysis, you'll take a course in applied policy, there will be a course in economics as it relates to policy, and a course in research methods as it relates to policy, as research methods relate to policy. And finally, you'll have 4 electives, which are an opportunity to go in depth. And these electives can be from anywhere around the university. So if there's a course if you're interested in, say, bioethics, you might take a course in the medical school. You might take a course in the Milken School for Public Health. You might take a course in the Trachtenberg School. So you can take courses in lots of different places in the university and have them count, and in such a way develop a specialization in whatever area of policy you're interested in. There is a thesis option. I can talk about that a little bit during the Q&A. Typically, we discourage students from pursuing the thesis option, mostly for pedagogical reasons, that we think you'll do better with coursework than with a thesis. There's a flexible schedule. So graduate seminars are held on weekday evenings, usually either starting at 5:10 or 6:10. So if you have a job, lots of our students have jobs during the day and come during the evenings, and they're completely fine with that. Oh, it doesn't say it. There's also somewhere, I think in the slideshow, it says I'm pretty aggressive with substitutions. So if you look at our website, you will see the courses from the core. It says you have to take a policy analysis course, such as, and it gives a course or two. But if you come to me and you say, here's a course I'm interested in policy analysis, or I think this is policy analysis, will this count towards the core? If I can make it count, if I can see how it replicates or somehow is relevant to policy analysis, I will do that. Lots of students take different economics courses. Lots of students take different statistics or research methods courses. So it's the idea here is that you can sort of craft your study to fit your interests. Okay, so the next slide. Here's just a list of recent courses that we've taught in philosophy and social policy. We typically have 3 graduate seminars a semester, so these go back a couple of years. And sometimes the courses are more specific. So the cognitive science and policy course is not being taught as cognitive science and policy next semester. It's being taught as a course called What is Mental Health, which will look at how we understand mental health and how that affects policy. So all of these courses sort of reflect our faculty interest and student interests too. Students can always talk to professors or me and say, hey, I'd really like a course in this area of whatever, biomedical ethics, rather than, a survey course. And I will talk to the person who teaches that course and we'll see if we can make that happen. So about the department, we are a small department with small seminars. Your seminars will have typically 10 to 15 students in them. There's close student-faculty interactions. Our students get to know the faculty and vice versa. We're social, so we do things socially. There are a few parties every year and other social interactions. And students get to know, as I mentioned, get to know each other well too. You can do in-depth study across a variety of courses. As I said, the program is very flexible so it meets your needs. And we have a pluralistic, meaning the faculty is interested in many different issues and different approaches to issues, and we're all research active. As Kate was saying, we're in the heart of DC, next door to the White House. So that is great for your career goals in terms of you have access to internships and jobs in the government and in non-government organizations and in consulting and so on and so forth. But you also have access to a wealth of first-class museums, cultural institutions, and sort of every advantage of the big city. DC has it, including great restaurants, etc. We're also part of a consortium that includes, I don't remember how many schools, but let's say a dozen. I think it's more than that. And you are able to take classes at other schools in the consortium if there are classes at other schools in the consortium that interest you. You can take up to 3 over your graduate career at GW. This is some of our faculty. So this is half a dozen people, the faculty, and actually one of them, Jeffrey Band, is in the provost's office. So he's there for us, but he's not teaching for us. But as you can see, these people in the graduate faculty have a wide range of interests and a wide range of approaches to their interests. My colleague David DeGrazia teaches a grad class pretty much every year, as does Gail Weiss and Laura Papish. Tad Zawitsky and Vanessa Wills, I think, are a little bit less frequent, maybe twice every 3 years. And then there are other faculty who will teach grad classes. And if there's stuff graduate work you're interested in that is taught by somebody else or even by one of these people, you can ask them to teach a class in the area of your interest. So career paths, what can you do with a degree? People go on into related fields such as consulting in policy, where they do political theory or biomedical ethics or gender studies, and really any career that places an emphasis on excellence in writing and analysis and creative problem solving, you will be well prepared for by this degree. Some of our students have worked in women's rights or children's rights. They've worked in environmental quality in different non-governmental organizations, think tanks, and the government. And some, not many, but there's somebody every year who goes on to pursue graduate study in philosophy or political science or law or some other sort of advanced degree. And we have some lists of recent and notable placements. Not all these are recent. So Heather Higginbottom, who graduated 25 years ago now, served in the State Department as a Deputy Secretary of State, and now she's the president of the J.P. Morgan Chase Policy Center. Liza Dawson, who graduated only 7 years ago as the chief of bioethics. Now she had a PhD before she came to us. So she didn't just go from here to bioethics and to chief of bioethics in 8 years. That would have been a meteoric rise. But she was able to use the degree to help her secure that position. Some people in NGOs, as you can see, we have various research work going on. I'll draw your attention to Rostam Asadi, who was working as a consultant in the DC region for several years. And he was also, we have a seminar every spring for both our graduate students and our undergraduate students, sort of how do you find a job with this degree? And he was part of that seminar. He was one of the people who would help host that seminar and give advice to our students. About a year ago, he moved to Abu Dhabi to work for Tony Blair as one of the policy managers at Tony Blair's Institute for Global Change. In academia, Maggie Taylor, who graduated here about 10 years ago, is now a clinical ethics fellow at Baylor College of Medicine. She earned a PhD in philosophy. Rob Goodman earned a PhD in political science, and he's now an assistant professor as of last year, I think, at the Toronto Metropolitan University. Molly Kelly is an assistant professor, I believe, of philosophy, but I'm not sure, at the Rhode Island School for Design. Other placements in the last few years, we have, there's a long list here, but you can see it's a variety of both government and non-government jobs and academic jobs that people have landed in, including or academic sort of pursuits, including PhD in philosophy or other PhD work and law school. Yep. Okay. All right. So let me talk a little bit about what we're looking for in applications. There are going to be sort of three main parts of your application. Or four main parts of your application, sorry. One is a 2 to 3 page statement of philosophical and policy interests and personal goals. So what you just sort of want to say is why you're interested in this program, what it's going to help you do. Yeah, you're selling yourself a little bit with that. A 10 to 15 page writing sample. So what we're going to want from you is a sample that shows that you are able to analyze data, you're able to do research, and you can write about it. 10 to 15 pages is plenty. And 2 letters of recommendation. I could talk about those, but generally I suggest that you get academic recommendations. And then I think this will say, yes, transcripts. So we'll want to look at your undergraduate transcripts, both to see what your background is and to see how you've done in school. We prefer an undergraduate GPA of above 3.2, but lower GPAs are certainly accepted. We have lots of students, including students whose sort of achievements were highlighted on the previous screen, who came in with lower GPAs, but who had great letters and good writing samples. So whose applications sold us on their qualities and their ability to do well in the program, even though the GPA was not particularly high. BA in philosophy is not required. So students come in with a varied preparation in arts and sciences. Some of them, but by far not the majority, are undergraduate philosophy majors. So we're definitely open to you coming in without a major in philosophy. There are students who come in without philosophy classes at all. That those tend to be in the minority, but a major is not necessary, and obviously having philosophy classes is not necessary. Okay, so application deadlines. If you want to start in the fall, so if you want to start in September of 2025, the deadline is February 1st for full consideration for financial support. We will continue to look at your application even after February 1st, even after the deadline is passed. But at a certain point, we're given a budget by the dean of the graduate school of the Columbian College. And at a certain point, we will have spent our budget. So we won't be able to give you the financial support we might otherwise want to give you. So if you're interested in that support, aim for February 1st. If you're applying for next spring, that deadline has passed, or if you're interested in starting in January, that deadline is passed. But we're always, like I said, there's rolling admission. We're always willing to look at your applications. Finally, contacts. You can contact me, and I'm the best person to contact for questions about the program. And my email is seidel@gwu.edu. If you want to ask questions about the application process, questions about where to send things, whatever, then you would email askccas@gwu.edu, and the people there will direct your queries to the correct address, a correct person. And the last contact is the philosophy department, which is philosop@gwu.edu. Typically, those emails get forwarded to me anyway, so you might as well just email me directly. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that